All right. Welcome, team. There's just a few of us on tonight. You'll see I've got my share screen ready to go here, but I'm going to stop that for 1 second because we're just going to start out tonight a little different. I don't actually have a PowerPoint presentation set up. Tonight, we kind of wanted to talk about the power of your story. So we all have a story or a reason of what got us into this business, whether it was product based that we started on this and noticed some significant changes, and that is what piqued our interest, or maybe it was the company story, or maybe it was the science behind the products. Whatever it was that got us involved, our story is important, because the reason that they call it direct sales, person-to-person sales, is because it becomes something that you're sharing with somebody. You need to talk to them and tell them a story. There's a story to be told with these products. So I think it's always key to remember your story and be prepared. So for myself, my story starts actually about 3 years ago right now in September. Mel was hosting an information session at her house for NRF2 activation. And I had been watching her post about it on Facebook for a few months prior to that. Didn't know what it was, didn't really have any interest because I didn't know what it was. But I knew that I was not in a great place in my life. And I think that that is why Mel kept slowly dripping on me and sharing little bits and pieces of information about this with me, because she knew ultimately what this could do to help me. So I went to her information session and I listened to it. And truth be told, after that, I was a little confused. I was kind of intrigued, but I kept thinking, like, how do you know if this is working? Like, I'm not going to go get blood work. How do you know if this is working? And I think because of where I was at in my life, it was easy for me to be just skeptical right off the hop. I had depression. I had lost my dad 9 years ago, and things kind of spiraled out of control after he passed away. And my life was just not really great. There was a whole bunch of things happening in my life that kind of had me feeling like I was at my rock bottom. So with Mel not reaching out to me, my life would look a lot different right now. But because she chose to, because she felt passionate enough about what she had her hands on, I'm now where I am today. So fast forward from September to January, I kind of did my own research. I looked into this a little bit more on my own, and I continued to watch her posts. And, I just got to a point where I really had nothing left to lose. I was miserable in my home life. I was miserable in my work life. I was just at a point where I needed something. I needed something to pick me up. So after starting to take Protandim, right away, I would say within 3 weeks, I noticed my sleep changed. I was sleeping much better. So when you deal with depression and when you deal with anxiety, one of the things I can say is your mind never turns off. I constantly felt like my mind was a junk drawer. There was so many things going through my head all the time. There was sad thoughts. There was angry thoughts. There was excitement. There was chaos, just utter chaos all the time. I used to write things down a lot because that was my only outlet of how to finally get things out of my head, which caused me to lose a lot of sleep because I would wake up through the night with thoughts and I would have to write them down. I would lay in bed at night, and as soon as things were quiet, that's when all of my thoughts would come to a head and I would need to write them down. My point is, my sleep sucked. And that carried throughout the day, because when you don't sleep well, your energy throughout the day drags. Everything just kind of cycles from your sleep. So I didn't realize the importance of that until I started having good sleep. So within about 3 weeks, I was laying down at night and I was actually able to shut my brain off and just go to sleep. I didn't even really know it was happening at first until the dreams kicked in. I was having these crazy dreams, like crazy significant dreams. And I would wake up in the morning and be like, wow, I haven't dreamt like this in a very long time. But I would also wake up with energy. I was waking up before my alarm clock. I was not having to hit snooze anymore. And then after, another week or two, I would realize like my energy's lasting throughout the day. I'm not having really an afternoon lull. I'm still feeling good at night. Like there was little small changes. So for like the importance with my story and me telling other people is that I can attest to the fact that it really took a full month for me to notice much. And then after that first month was when the people around me kind of noticed my mood shifting. My husband was picking up on it. My friends were noticing. Even people that I would see out and about just kind of commented that there was a different glow about me. Something was changing. I didn't really notice it that much until other people pointed it out to me, but I was able to let things roll off my back. I know my kids would say that I was pretty miserable at home. I would snap very easily. My temper, my fuse was very short. And I feel like things just became a lot calmer in our house the longer that I was taking this product, because I was able to just let things go. My mind was clearer. My brain fog was shifting. I didn't feel like I had such a junk drawer going on. Like I still have this, but I'm just able to cope with it so much better. I'm able to maintain things, and I feel like I finally have control. So for all of those reasons, I will continue to take this. And for all of those reasons, it made me want to look into how this can help other people. So it made me very interested in all the different aspects that this can change people's lives. That was the first time I'd ever learned about oxidative stress. I never knew what that meant before I met, well, not before I met Mel, but before I met this company and met this product and started understanding what it can do. So my story has become important because I know that I can offer hope to a lot of people who deal with exactly what I'm going through. But I can also offer help to a lot of people that aren't dealing with what I'm going through because I understand the science behind this. So that's why I think it's important to have your story and be confident in that, but be prepared, because people are going to want to know your story. They're going to want to know what it is about this that makes you think it's going to help them. So if you're confident with your story, if you're prepared, and your story doesn't have to be a significant life-changing event with these products, it can just be your confidence in the science behind this. Either way, you want to be prepared and you want to be educated. So that's kind of all I really have to say at this point. Mel's going to take over now, and she's going to explain more about the company history and where that comes from.
Oh, awesome. I love that ending, Jess, how you said just having your story and talking about your story and being confident.
Yeah.
And so another thing I think that also will make you confident when you're sharing BR products or even the business opportunity is having knowledge, because that makes you more confident. So what I want to share tonight is a bit about our company story and Dr. Joe McCord. He is the formulator of Protandim NRF2 activator. So I just want to, for any of you guys that don't know a lot about Dr. Joe McCord, he's obviously he's a world-renowned scientist, and he is the only living recipient that holds a medal called the Elliott Crescent Medal. And when I first heard that, that meant nothing to me. I was like, oh, the Elliott Crescent Medal, until I realized other inventors was awarded the same medal. And those inventors, am I saying that right? Inventors?
Inventors, yeah.
Inventors. Like Henry Ford, Orville Wright, Alexander Graham Bell, they were all awarded the same medal. So when I heard that, that really blew my mind. It put my signal up, and I was like, okay, this is something I really should be paying attention to know that Dr. Joe McCord, the formulator of Protandim, is the only living recipient today to hold that medal. So keep that in your back pocket, and maybe you don't have to share that with people all the time, but keep it there for your own confidence and that knowledge to know that that we have that he holds that medal. So a little bit about our company story and how we all got started, because we have an incredible story, and you might not realize it. A lot of network marketing companies, they don't start out the way we started out. So we started out as a biotech company. Dr. Joe McCord, he's a scientist, right? he was just a little, they started out as a biotech company, and he formulated this Protandim, and he thought that the best way to sell it was to be on store shelves, like GNC and health food stores. So our company started out that way. Now, we realized later on that wasn't a great business model, and we ended up in direct sales. I'm getting mixed up a bit on my story, but I also want to talk about that ABC primetime report. So when Dr. Joe McCord formulated Protandim, he said it can reduce oxidative stress by 40% in the first 30 days in all humans that take it. And that's a big, bold statement. And so ABC Primetime heard that. They thought he was a complete scam. They thought there's nothing out there that can do that. We think this guy is a scam. We want to go in and investigate him. And Dr. Joe McCord and his team welcomed him in for an investigative report. And they did his blood, and 2.5 weeks later, it showed that his oxidative stress levels were lowered by 45%. And that was just in 2 weeks. And so the company blew up, right? Because this was all over the news. So the company blew up overnight, and $5 million in sales came in to our company overnight. But like I said back then, we were just a small biotech company. We didn't have infrastructure to fund these purchases. So a lot of them went unfulfilled. We're also a publicly traded company on the NASDAQ. So keep that and let that remind you that we are a solid company. We are a legit company. We're traded on the NASDAQ. And at the time, we were trading at about $1 when this news aired. And overnight, we jumped to 20 because of all those orders. That's where we ended up. He said, okay, we got to get this product out there. That's where we started. Like I was saying before, we ended up in retail stores. Went into retail, learned really quickly retail wasn't working. Why? Because Protandim is a product that needs education. People need to understand what it does in the body. And so in 2009, we went into direct sales, and we went from, I think, was it $3 to $5 million a year to over $200 million a year company is where we're standing at today. So that's just the introduction of our company story. And I think it's really important that you learn that and just be confident when you have people ask. Like today, actually, for example, I was talking to somebody, a potential customer, and she asked, is this like network marketing? And I don't know if she was being skeptical or if it was a negative question because it was through text. And then I responded back and I said, you know what? It is in that business model. But then I told her about why it went to that business model. So I could maybe, if it was a skeptical question, I could, help her understand why it's there, and maybe she wouldn't feel that skepticism anymore. So just listen to that, learn the company's story, have posture and confidence. And the same, like what Jess was saying, know your story and don't be afraid to share it. Be it if, like, my story is quite different about why I got involved with this company, to be quite honest. I didn't even try the product first. I'll tell you my story really, really quick. I was just in a point in my life where I was a little bit lost, and I just didn't feel like I knew my purpose, and I knew I had a bigger calling in life. And somebody shared this with me, and I was really actually intrigued with the product. And I thought, well, I need that. And then I just dug deeper and into the science behind it. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I know so many people that need this product, like so many people close to me. And if I can be the one to tell them about this and help change their life and their health, that gives me purpose. So I didn't even try Protandim. I believed in the science. I trusted the science, and I just jumped in with 2 feet. So it was a bit of the business, but it was also the fact that I've shared this with people and I've changed their lives. They thank me. That gives me purpose. That keeps me going every day. When this business gets really, really hard sometimes and you just want to quit, I go back to those people that literally thank me because you've changed my life. So that's my spiel about the company story, and that was my quick story. So just be proud of why you joined, and don't be ashamed to share your story because you don't know who you will connect with.
That's
So,
right.
yeah.
That's right. Okay. One more thing I just wanted to do. I'm going to reshare my screen here. I want to point out some important videos. So these are good videos just to keep in, like, I don't know if you can keep them saved in like your favorites on the computer. I use YouTube a lot. When people ask me for more information on this product, I will go to YouTube. I have a couple of my favorites that I send out, but they change over time. When I first started in this business, I sent the Dr. Alice Reed video out to everybody like spam. That was the video that I went to all the time. She just explained it very, very good. Then I got involved with a doctor and I was talking to a doctor. So I looked for something that got a little more in depth. So then I started using Dr. Benedict Maniscalco's videos because he gets a lot of science in his information videos. And I felt like that was well suited for me to send to a health professional. So I've had a few people that have sort of inquired about the business, but aren't really sure. And so I found some really killer videos to send for that. The number one is this Seth Campbell 15-minute sneak peek. Trust me, watch it. It's like he just does a really good job of explaining what it is that people look for when they're looking for a side hustle. He talks about how people are looking for a side hustle because life is expensive and, you know, always you can use more. So there's so many people turning to having a secondary income because they want to live a certain lifestyle. And so there's certain things you want to look for when you're judging what company you want to join for your side hustle. He explains it so good. Like if I wasn't a part of the business and I listened to his video, that would probably be the turning point for me. It's a good one. And the other thing I wanted to point out was if you just type Life Vantage into YouTube, it will bring up a whole list of, like, if you weren't able to go to the Elite Academy in Kansas City, here's Aaron Brockovich's speech. This past weekend, Tara Wilson spoke about the company. It is an opportunity video. It is a very good one too, but hers is almost 40 minutes long. So you got to really judge what you're sending. If I'm wanting to send something to somebody that I think is going to be like the tipping point, but I know that they're kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, I don't want to bog them down with a 40-minute video. I want them to see something quick that's going to help them make a decision. So for somebody else that is really interested in the company and wants a little more information on all the products, I might send them this Tara Wilson video. So you have to kind of go through and search out what videos would be best for you to keep in your library and then use those to share with people. Like I say, mine change all the time. I'll go in every once in a while and just have a peek at what's new, and I might switch out some old videos with some new ones. They did a whole doctor series last year, and all of those videos are somewhere in YouTube. If you type in, I believe, Life Vantage or Team Positive Doctors series, there's a whole list of videos that they did with medical professionals that you can send out to people. YouTube is a great tool to have when you're sharing the either product or business opportunity with other people. So I think that was all I had wrote down here. Yeah, I think that
was great. Great
that is
tip.
really all that I have here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Perfect.
I'm gonna stop recording. I think that's probably good for tonight, don't you think?
I think so.
Oh, my share is turned off, right? So
Yep.
now I need to